Alright guys, just want to talk about getting boxed in life. It's something that I wish I had actually seen a long time ago. It's so obvious when you see it, but I was actually watching what do you call it, interview with Steve Jobs, and he brought it up about living of outside the routines of life. Because what you have is we're sold in a certain direction from day one. You know, you're supposed to graduate school, go to higher education, get married, have a big house, have a big car, hamster wheel mentality. And a lot of it is designed to keep you locked into it. Because even when you go for a job, you'll need a car to get to the job, so you're locked into debt by buying a car to take you to work and blah blah blah. It's all tied together. But if you can stand back and see there is other alternatives, because a lot of the time we take the safe option because we're being told that's what we need to be doing, that's what we should be doing, the same as everybody else. Be a good citizen. I'm not sure if it's Citizen Kane. I used to see it was a little late at night, probably about midnight in the UK before, where they had they're sort of trying to escape the village, and there's like these big balls that sort of roll around. But the point is that reminds me of life. That is often the bit we're sold. We're sold that we need to go down this route. You need to be a good citizen. You need to stay in a stable job to pay the mortgage, pay the house, and look after your family, etc. That locks you in. That's what it's there for. At the same time, you find the people that often make the best money in doing stuff that they enjoy have completely different goals, different setups, and different mentalities. Many years ago, in my 20s, I was involved with Wimpy Restaurants. Now, their chain was originally bought out by Burger King. There was a 5-year period where they weren't allowed to open another food chain. But the point is, as soon as that 5 years was up, they then launched Wimpy again, and they mortgaged their houses and everything else. Guess what? There's the difference in mentality. They took bigger risks. They knew what they were doing, though, but they're not focused on, but what if it all goes wrong? They're focused on making it happen. In the same way, when you're doing something that you have a passion for, you are more likely to succeed at it because you have a love for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about half-baked ideas. I'm talking about the fact is, like, say, if you want to be a pilot and you progressed yourself in that direction regardless of what, because it can be, well, it is expensive to become a pilot, let's be fair. But the point is, if you put your effort into that and your job focus is not about getting a mortgage, getting this, and instead it's paying for your lessons and getting you airborne, then you will make it happen. But that's one of the things that we often give up is our passion, our love, the things that make us who we are or want to be, because we sacrifice them for being boxed in to life. So my message on this one is sort of basically, it doesn't matter how old you are, it's just recognizing life. Life is this little box here. Life is the one that says you must do this, and it makes you very worried about taking any risks because there's always something to lose. Yet you'll find some of the most creative and interesting people and wealthiest people have often took some of the biggest risks because they didn't box themselves in the first place. In the same way, when you leave school, if you're a bit younger, I would say focus on what you're good at and what your passion is, rather than focusing on getting the job that makes your parents happy or whatever, because you'll find that your worst case scenario, you've tried, you've probably got something that you can use in a career, but also you can look back and you've done something that you're proud of, you've enjoyed, and come out the other end. Because you can always drop back to the routine and the mundane anytime. It's always going to be there. You know, you look at people that failed on on a high flying job, they've always found work. They've always been able to backtrack and find a footing to move forward again. The hard bit is when you take that big risk, in the sense that if you're already locked into your mortgage and everything else, it makes it much, much harder to do it. So my point being is a lot of the stuff around us is focused on locking us into this because we're easier to control. If you look at pension contributions and things like that with the UK, it's not about the amount per year. It's about every payday. That's the bit they're focused on. So, for example, I can work 3 months and pay more than a lot of people pay in a year. At the same time, do you know what? I only get the contributions for those months. How weird is that? You paid more in, but they don't really count that because it wasn't every single week. But that's the reality. That's about the boxing in. Be a good citizen. Do as you're told. Follow this path. At the same time, you've got other people being advised the complete opposite in a lot of private education, for example. Can you look at why is there girls and boys schools? Why is that separation still existing in many schools today? It's because it's to separate a lot of the stuff that gets guys in trouble and women in trouble in the early years. Because obviously it's when you're most active that things happen. And you move away from thinking about your passion in a work format and thinking about the girl that you've always fancied for the last year or whatever. Your focus changes. So the point being is, if this wasn't so true, then why are these things already set up for others? Because you look at it from the bigger picture, you see it in the way people are educated. Why is it that you can learn Latin as a normal subject in some private schools, or a lot of private schools, yet you get a shot at French and German a little bit in state schools? I rest my case, because obviously Latin is used for legal, well, not only law, but also in government, and also it's part of the formation of other languages as well. So it gives you a good stance for, say, Italian, Spanish, and many other languages, because the formations of the words often come from Latin. But anyway, thanks for watching.